Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. We were just joined by Wisconsin State Senator Nakia Harris-Dodd, and our focus will now shift to an activist who is the owner of a community-based theater company right here in Milwaukee, Mr. Andre Lee Ellis. Good morning, Andre.
Hey, good morning, Andrea.
Thank you for being here. And I invited you here because you've lived in the Milwaukee community for many years now, and you're one of those people who really remind us what the true definition of community is. So wanted to get your take on a lot of different things that are taking place in the city and right there in your neighborhood. Now, you would say that you live in a neighborhood where drugs and violence are a concern. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, first thing is that I moved on 9th and Ring in November 2011. The first week that I was there, my wife and I heard gunshots. Now we were living in Brewers Hill prior to that, but economically we had to downsize. And so we moved on 9th and Ring. We were looking for a place on Lake Drive, but we ended up on 9th and Ring. We'll take it. 9th and Ring is the new Lake Drive, by the way.
Okay.
And I noticed that there was a lot of drug dealing on the corner. A lot of young men on the corner, cars pulling up. And so what I did is to take a proactive approach to that. I started cleaning the streets. I took my broom and my litter picker, and I would literally pick up the trash. And I would talk to the young men, and I would say, hey, I see you standing here on this corner dealing what you do. I said, you know, that's not good. And they call me old school. They say, old school, why? I said, because the police see you here every day. Anybody watching, you know where you come every day. They know what time because it's just a matter of time. They're going to come get you, brother. And I started making that story. Before you know it, the corner became less and less. Started working with the neighbors to get rid of the drugs. But the drugs is a way of life for a lot of people in the hood, in the inner city. People who are unemployed are more than likely dealing drugs or taking them.
And what's interesting to me is that you've decided to, that's okay, take back your community in a way that you saw a lot of vacant lots in the neighborhood where you live, and you decided in 2012 to apply for a community improvement project grant. And you worked with Growing Power, and we've had Will Allen right here on the show, so we know all the great things that Growing Power does in helping with urban agriculture. But you turned a lot right there near your house into a community garden, so that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. The same day that the shooting happened, I saw the lot emptied, and I asked the people, why was this lot empty? They said, it's supposed to be a garden. And I thought to myself, wow. If people were eating healthier, maybe they would think better. And so I got involved, found out who ran the garden, found out about the grant with the city, the CIP grant, got the grant, went to Growing Power because they already do gardens. Went to Will Allen, Growing Power set it up, and the garden became a stabilizer, a meeting place. It's where we come for everything, to celebrate life, to celebrate death, to celebrate kids graduating, to celebrate food. So the garden and the planting of food, it was the first place that the neighbors began to take ownership and say, don't play in the garden, don't mess with the food. They come and eat the food. And so then that started trickling down to around the garden, clean up around the garden, clean up around your house. And so the garden was a common denominator.
Wow. I love that. And so many times we hear the news stories about young men who either are in scenarios where they're hanging with the wrong crowd, or they really don't have a choice but to find means to take care of themselves because their parents are not around to help them. And so you have taken it upon yourself to kind of gather some of the youngsters in the neighborhood, and not only have you changed their way of thinking, but you've given them jobs right there in the garden. So talk about that.
That's funny, and Andrea, and let me say it right, because I said the name wrong. I got excited. I was on a television show with you, and I said Andrea, and it's Andrea. Always Andrea, and I know that. But 12-year-old Jermaine was a young man on the block, terrorizing the block. His mother came to me about 9 weeks ago and said they got Jermaine. And Jermaine had been breaking in houses and doing different things, stealing bikes, likes. And so I went to the 5th District and talked with them, and they released Jermaine to me. I said, Jermaine, we're going to start the We Got This program, because I just got tired of it. I got tired of black men being absent. I got tired of people saying black men are absent. I knew we weren't. I knew the kind of father and grandfather and brother I was to the community. I knew a whole bunch of other African American men that are working real hard in the community, and the media sometimes don't get to tell our story. So Jermaine worked in the garden that Saturday. I paid him $20, $5 an hour. We cleaned up the garden. While working, Jermaine looked at me and he said, Mr. Andre, can I say something to you? And I said, yes, Jermaine, what is it? And he said, I'm really not bad. They made me this way.
They meaning?
Meaning the people that raised him.
Okay.
I'm thinking he meaning his family, his parents, because he doesn't know much about environment. He's only 11, 12. He's talking about whoever brought him up, and a lot of times
become a product of their environment.
Of their environment. Yeah. Well, the next Saturday, the boy bring 5 friends with him, and they want to get paid $20 for working. And I just told you I downsized because of economics. We ain't got no $100 for them boys. I got grandkids that's gonna go to college. So I put a post on Facebook. And so I'm in the garden on 9th and Ring, and I've got 6 young black men, young black boys that are working, and I want to pay them all $20 each. I only have $20 to pay one. Can I get 5 other men to come? 7 men showed up.
Wow.
The next week it was 10 boys, and then it was 19, then 26, and then it kept growing. And now last week we had 36 boys, and every week people show up with $20 to pay the kids. It's incredible. Even more than that at around 10 minutes to 8, because the boys, if they aren't there at 8 o'clock, they can't work. There's no part-time job.
So they're learning the importance of, if you're gonna work, then you gotta show up for work on time.
This Saturday, they gotta do a job application. So that we can have a record for them. Whether people know it or not, it's what they don't know or aren't learning that have them where they are. When they know better, they'll do better.
That's it.
So we can police and take care of our own neighborhoods. We just have to be willing to do it and put our money where our mouth is.
And I love that so much, because what we always hear is people write off some of these kids and saying they're going to end up in jail or dead, and that's just the way it is. But you see different in these young people, and that is refreshing. And what I really wanted the message to be today is that one person can make a difference. And not only have you brought these young men in and kind of changed their mindset and their mentality on thinking that everything they do has to be bad, they know that hard work and doing things to help the community can pay off for them. And you're also making fresh produce available to the entire neighborhood, because we've talked about how there are deserts of fresh food for a lot of neighborhoods. And so it's amazing where urban agriculture is going these days. So I wanted to bring out a point too, that you were saying one boy took $20, went and got a cooler and some bottled water and turned that into $60.
And the man that paid him the $20 went and bought a bottle of water from him, because he saw him selling the water on East Capitol. And he was riding down the street. He says, oh, there's some bottled water, get one. And he said, when he realized he was giving the kid the dollar, ain't you the same kid I gave the $20 to? He said, yeah, I took my money and started my own business.
Yeah.
I saw all the other kids working on the expressways and the corners, and so I decided to do the same thing. And what about little Will? Little Will, who came to me last week and said, Mr. Andre, guess what I did with the money I earned? I said, what did you do, Little Will? He said, I always wanted my own snapping turtle. I went and bought a snapping turtle. And then he said, and now that I got me a job, I can use my money every week and buy the food for the turtle.
I love it.
Incredible.
That's what it's all about. And you've helped coordinate the Garfield Avenue Blues Jazz Gospel and Arts Festival for many years now, and it's coming up on July 19th. And what I love is that you also provide young people with jobs during that festival as well.
We do, and this year what we're going to do with the festival, because we usually use urban diversion with the kids, but they're busy. So we're going to take the boys from the garden and clean, and whereas they usually get $20, they're going to get paid a little more for that day, because they're going to do the cleaning at Garfield Festival. So now when the community come out, they see young African American men taking care of them.
Yes, and they'll be cleaning up as people have fun at the festival. They keep everything clean, so when the festival's over, the people's neighborhoods is just like it was when we all got there.
As you know, because you do such a fantastic job
it has been a
every year.
pleasure. I've hosted the main stage for so many years, and it's always fun. So we invite everybody to come out again on July 19th.
That's
okay.
correct.
And as I wrap up, I did want to mention your theater company, Andre Lee Ellis and Company. You've been doing theater for quite some time.
Now.
Yeah, 23 years. And I just wanted to give your grandson Peanut his props because I think it's so impressive that he's a chip off the old block. And tell everybody at home his big production that he did recently.
Peanut was biggest one recently was mine, Telling It Like It Is.
Okay.
And Marqueppa bigger than that was at the Milwaukee Rep. He was in Ragtime.
That's
big. If you saw it, he was a little kid.
And he's how old?
5.
5 years old.
And he has a bank account. and when he goes to the bank with his little piggy bank, he takes it to the counter and he's taught, excuse me, I'd like to put this in my account, please.
And it is all about what we teach our kids.
He's my future.
Yes, absolutely. And I just hope that our conversation today has motivated people all over to say, you know what, if I just take one kid and mentor them or kind of help a kid along the way and kind of tell them right from wrong, you never know what kind of difference that really can make.
It's true, and I know that the issue isn't just a black issue or confined to our community, but me being a black man, black father, grandfather, brother, friend, I want to say to other men that look like me, stop being absent. Come out. Go get your son, go get your daughter, and if they aren't yours, they still are. Get them. Let's go get them.
All right, great way to end the show. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for all that you do. Mr. Andre Lee Ellis, and that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. I thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues in Milwaukee. Have a great day.